What is all spiritual practice meant for? Why do we attend lectures? Why do we give lectures? Why do we study books? Why do we write books? Why do we discuss spiritual topics with each other? A whole lot of spiritual practices are all meant finally for liberation. We want to be liberated. We want to be free, called in Sanskrit mukti or moksha, referred to in English sometimes as emancipation, popularly looked at sometimes as ending of reincarnation, no rebirth anymore. In numerous ways, liberation has been visualized. Buddhism prefers the word nirvana. Nirvana. Vati means to blow. Vana means when the wind of desire is blowing through us. The winds of desire blow through us, tossing us up and down. That is vana. And nirvana is no desire disturbs us. We are fine the way we are. And the way we are in the state of liberation is not anything to do with how the body is or mind is. The way we really are is as pure awareness. The fundamental mistake, the big blunder, the basic error is the activity of thought incessantly gives to us an idea. We are this much and we have to become that much. We have come this far, we have to go that far. Continuously, thoughts are describing us as incomplete, not okay, inadequate. When there are no thoughts, there is no issue at all. But spirituality is not about simply stilling thoughts, quietening thoughts. Spirituality is about certain illumination, certain wisdom, certain new knowledge, where no matter what this body and mind or this personality is, short or tall, bright or dull, accomplished or nowhere, rich or poor, healthy or sick, there are thousands of descriptions of who we are on the plane of the body and the mind, but that taking ourselves to be as what body and mind are itself is the fundamental error. Therefore, the question, who am I? Who am I really? Who am I? In this 22nd episode of Know the Upanishads, we take a well-known mantra of Atharva Veda's Mundakopanishad. And this mantra explicitly says, all the desires in your bosom, which upon rising make you feel incomplete, make you think by getting something you will be okay, By reaching somewhere, you will be okay. When people see you in a certain way, you will be at peace, etc. That desire which causes apurnata, incompleteness, this mantra says, is cut asunder. Desire is cut asunder. You see yourself wanting nothing, desiring nothing. All this, of course, has to be understood carefully. On the surface, it looks like a very irrational argument. For we already take ourselves to be this body, and then we say, as long as this body is, there will be desire, there will be some want. All this is high philosophy and has no practical implication. That is because our psychosomatic identity, mind body identity, is taken as unquestionably true and unquestionably our identity. It is our what we are. No. That's why we sometimes say Vedanta is not about replacing your bad dream with a good dream. Vedanta is about waking you up from all dreams. This famous mantra has not only poetic beauty, but more importantly, it has tremendous significance in understanding Vedanta. Let me get down to how this mantra shares a new vision. It's about revelation. So here we are. Know the Upanishads, class 22. Last Friday, December 19, there was no episode, no Upanishad class. I was at Mysuru Yoga Utsava in Mysore, Karnataka, where a 4-day program on yoga, on Ayurveda, little Vedanta, cultural programs, devotional sessions, all together. Mysore Yoga Utsava was a grand program that brought great satisfaction to everyone who either heard the lectures or participated or taught, instructed, demonstrated, and so on. So last Friday, 19th December, there was no Upanishad class. Now on this 26th of December, we apply our minds to the mantra which says liberation is possible, and in that liberation, your desires vanish, your doubts go away, and even the karmic bonds, which the scriptures, the Vedas themselves talk about, no doubt, even the karmic bonds are destroyed. Vidyate hridaya granti chidyante sarva sanshaya. This is the first half of the mantra. The whole mantra will show in the next slide. Hridaya grantihi vidyate. That's where there's a little poetry, there's a little metaphor. Granthi means a knot, K-N-O-T. You take a thread and create a knot. You take a rope and create a knot. Granthi, a knot. The knots of your heart are broken. Bhinna means broken. The verbal form in active voice is bhinatti. If you take an object in your hand and break it, then about you I will say to somebody, Saha tadvastu bhinatti. He breaks that object. But in passive voice, tadvastu tena vidyate. That object gets broken. That object is broken by this man. But here, bhidyate hridaya grantihi, no man comes and cuts the knots of your heart, but it is your own right seeing. Right seeing, which alone is jnana, not some encyclopedic knowledge of information, what the books have said. At the most, that kind of knowledge is a stepping stone to the illumination. For the illumination, for the enlightenment to take place, it is a different ball game. You let go of so many concepts and words and phrases and literary expressions. All of them are left behind, and what they point to is owned. When somebody shows you the moon in the sky, holding his hand with the index finger, he says to you, look, there is that beautiful moon in the sky. If you go on looking at his finger and say, I don't see any moon, what are you talking about? Your friend would say, don't go on gazing at my finger. Please see what the finger is showing. Then you lift your head and see the moon. Likewise, scriptures, including the Upanishads as texts, do the job of the finger. They show. A competent teacher opens the mantras in such ways that you will see yourself in a different light. Vidyate hridaya grantihi. The knot in your heart is cut open. Chidyante sarva sanshaya. You may have numerous doubts, but all those doubts, all those confusions, all those delusions, all kinds of samshaya. For in the illumined state, you don't live in conflict. You don't live in choice. In the unillumined condition, which is the state, which is the case of the Jivatma, every day there are so many choices to be made. It's indeed hard to understand this. How can we live a day without any choice? You want to go buy some vegetables, you have to choose good ones and let go of wrong ones, bad ones. In every matter, you want to add a member to your team in some company, you are the CEO or you are the selection manager. You have to choose, okay, this girl is smart and can do the job. This boy has more qualification, but something is not right with him. So you choose her, you let go of the other. So how can there be no choice? We are not talking of choice on a functional level. On one level within us, there is the play of the ego. In choosing or not choosing, deep inside one fears. If I choose this, will people say I am a fool? So more than choosing the right vegetable or fruit or the candidate who has come for the interview, one is worried. Will I be made fun of? Will I be criticized? So most of us dance to the tunes of the society in known and unknown ways. We got to learn how we may live without conflict. when there is thorough objectivity, when there is no personal bias, when there is no play of the ego, outwardly we will be making many choices. Outwardly we may look like finding it hard to choose. Somebody says, see, she has difficulty in choosing. But inwardly, there is no conflict. We don't make a problem of issues of life. Outwardly, we may lose or we may win, but living in freedom has little to do with winning or losing. Whether you win or lose, suppose your head is above your shoulders, because you lost, you don't look down at yourself. Because you won, you don't feel greater than others, holier than thou attitude. No. Then, whether it is failure or success, victory or defeat, you are free. That's what is meant by Chidyante Sarva Samshaya. We see now the whole mantra. Vidyate Hridaya Granthi Chidyante Sarva Sanshaya Kshiyante Cha Asya Karmani Tasmin Drishte Paravare. Mundakopanishad, from which we have already dwelt on two or three, if not more mantras. We began this whole series with a mantra from Mundakopanishad where there is the beautiful metaphor of two birds on the same tree. The first bird is more often unhappy than happy. But when it sees the second bird, a deep transformation is set in motion. What we are talking in this episode also is the deep transformation. When deep transformation takes place, let the society say whatever it has to. Let people call you confused, deluded, this or that. You know. You know that you are okay. You don't imagine you are okay. You know you are okay. You are so clear. So clear. Therefore it is said, Sarva Sanshayaha Chidyante. Grammatically, this also is passive voice. All doubts are cut. Bhid, bhinatti is to break. Chid, chinatti is to cut. Chidyante sarva sanshaya. So pretty much same. Kshiyante chasya karmani. Asya sadhakasya, asya jivatmanaha, asya purushasya striyova, of this man, of this lady, all the so-called past karmas, which we generally believe hold you in their kapimushti, tight grip, all of them kshiyante, they die away. When does this happen? The fourth line says, what is needed is clear vision of the truth of your existence, which is called here paravara. Para means higher, avara means lower. Some other places it is para and apara. Here it is para and avara, high and low. That means all inclusive. There is a certain truth about you which is all inclusive, which is the basis for any experience, any human being, any insect or bird, any fish or other living beings would experience. The basis of all those experiences is a certain truth. Therefore, the highly evolved one, para, and someone who is regarded as very low, avara, all are included in that adhisthana, in that substrate. भिद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिः छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे. No doubt, no desire, and therefore one has no fear. One lives fearlessly. Once more, all these have to be understood in the right spirit. No fear is not to be thought of as some kind of bravery that people sometimes show when a tiger faces them, when somebody with a knife comes and confronts this fellow. Well, the illumined person can face all this too, but not in some standard ways in which you imagine the response. The illumined one will do whatever is the best. You cannot write the script for her behavior. The enlightened one doesn't go by your script, what you write. Ah, if you are enlightened, you should behave like this. Who are you to say you should behave like this? Then what is the criterion? Well, when you arrive there, tasmin drishte paravare, you know. Ah, how there used to be fear. Now I don't have fear. How there used to be desire. How there used to be hurt. How there used to be embarrassment. Oh, how in egoistic life I hurt others, others hurt me. I caused fear and everything to others, and they caused fear in my mind too. Now, no such thing. Ah, how nice it is. We are out of the cage of habits. Sometimes some of us, let me be very frank with you, some of us in the ashrams, brahmacharis and swamis, etc., we get very used to being respected everywhere. Devotees come to the ashram, they bow down, they say, Swamiji, Namaste, Brahmachariji, Namaskar. They treat us in a very special way. And if we get used to it, you don't have to go out of the ashram. In the ashram itself, God sends somebody who would do the opposite, who would make a nasty remark, who would not show you the respect to which you are used. You may fret and fume. Then you should know that you are still very raw. You may have bookish knowledge, but at the slight seeming insult, at the slight lapse of a certain respectful gesture, someone was to do, but one did not. And you get jittery. You get very embarrassed. Huh? Who is this? Does he not know? I'm a holy man. All kinds of such things happen. Easy to talk about it, but in reality, hardly anyone is free from fear. But that doesn't mean it cannot be overcome. Therefore, the very main title for this episode we have given is Liberation is Possible. Can we ever be free from this hurt which often happens in life? Can we ever be free from fear? This mantra says you can, but please be open. Don't they say, what is that? You can wake up a person who is asleep, but it's difficult to wake up somebody who is pretending to be asleep. Likewise, we will get enlightened if we are available. But even when we join an ashram and attend Vedanta classes and do so many external things, deep inside we are not at all ready. If liberation were to be served on a platter to us, we would push that platter away. Not now. No, I don't need liberation. Because first of all, you are not clear what liberation is. So let's see how Bhagavad Pada, Sri Shankaracharya, whom we call Bhagavan Bhashyakara, explains this mantra. The commentary is quite short, I should say. For Hridaya Granthi, which literally means the knot in your heart, he gives a meaning, unambiguous meaning. He says here in this context, Hridaya Granthi is no other than Kamaha. And in that sense, bondage is no other than desire. Desire is another name of bondage. Desire is another name of bondage. Someone asked Sri Ramana Maharshi once, is Vairagya, detachment, the most prominent means to liberation? And he answered in an out-of-box manner. He said, Vairagya, detachment or dispassion, is liberation. Don't look at it as stepping stone. Elsewhere it is said like that. But if you truly are free from desire, you are free. Someone asked a question, is being free of desire the precursor to liberation? That is, being free from desire leads to liberation, or when you are liberated, you are no more with any desire. Chicken and egg case. Does chicken come first, egg later, or the egg is first and chicken later? Let's not talk about chicken and egg, but over here, freedom from desire, vairagya or nairashya, nishkamata, and mukti or moksha, they are together. When this is here, that also is here. They are like the two sides of the same coin. When you are free from desire, you are liberated. When you are liberated, you cannot have any desire. Adi Shankaracharya, who is shown here with his most close or foremost disciples, Sureshwara and Padmapada and Totaka and is that Hastamalaka. Four were the foremost disciples. This is one of the, I don't know whether it is Ravi Verma's painting or whose, but a picture which is very popular, much appreciated. Adi Shankara was an embodiment of the highest knowledge, Vishnu. And through his commentaries on the Prasthanatraya, he shared very profound insights, employing a very fine, clear language. A careful and sustained study of Shankaracharya's commentaries on even a couple of Upanishads and the Gita, a little bit of these two are enough. Brahma Sutra not needed for liberation. Brahma Sutra and Bhashya are needed for professors and teachers and those who have a lot of intellectual curiosity They have certain hunger for seeing things once more in an orderly manner. They should study Brahma Sutras. If you say, my objective is just liberation, I want to be free of sorrow, I want to put an end to my sense of not being all right, then Gita alone is enough. Gita Bhashya, couple of Upanishads are enough. For it is a matter of going deeper and being totally clear. Vashyakara says here, Asya Paramatma Jnanasya Phalamidam. When you have Paramatma Jnana, the supreme knowledge of the Supreme Self, Jivatma and Paramatma is the vocabulary. You know your Jivatma Bhava, but Paramatma Bhava, you yourself are that Paramatma, but you don't have the Jnana. Asya Paramatma Jnanasya Phalam Idam, the reward, the result is Abhidiyate. It is named here as Hridaya Granthi, and especially in this context, it is Kama. What Kama? Avidya Vasana Maya. In spiritual ignorance, we go after so many things, so many pleasures, so many positions, so many experiences. We want to become somebody, we want to reach somewhere. And unless we become that, unless we reach over there, we are miserable. There is pain in our bosom. Avidya Vasana Maya Buddhyashraya. It is located in our buddhi. What is it? Kamaha. The Kamaha is called, Kamaha, desire, is called the knot in one's heart. Brahadaranyaka Upanishad and Kataka Upanishad, which is same as Kathopanishad. They both have this line. Kama yesya hridishritaha. Yada sarve pramuchyante kama yesya hridishritaha. There is a mantra in either of them, both of them. When desires, using the plural, which are shritaha, located, hridi here is in the buddhi, ye asya, of the seeker. Yada pramuchyante is there in the mantra. When they leave this person, then one becomes liberated. Iti Shrutyantarat. Presently, this Bhashya portion is explaining Shruti, this Vedic portion called Mundaka Upanishad. But Shruti Antara, other Upanishads, other Vedic portions, namely Brihadaranyaka and Katha Upanishad, also have this. Especially Shankara very appropriately draws our attention to the expression Hridi Shritaha Kamaha. Kamaha Hridaye Shritaha. Kama is not on the tip of our nose or on tip of our toes or on some other. It's in the mind, what is called intellect. My buddhi, intellect says to me, come on, upgrade your car. Go for an expensive BMW. And that buddhi says so, then I believe in it. I desire to buy a BMW, but I'm falling short of money. Then I feel very sad, depressed, inadequate. The whole game begins. This desire is born of avidya, but it is seated in the buddhi. Hridayashrayaha sau, na atmashraya. A very significant statement. You are actually the Atma, you are Satchit Ananda, and be assured in that Atma that you are, not even a drop of desire is. Kamaha na atmashraya. Kamaha hridayashraya. Hridaya here is buddhi. Vidyate bhedam upayati. Vinasham upayati. Vashyakara continues. He takes the second quarter of the mantra. Chidyante sarva sanshaya. Shown in red letters, they are the words from the mantra itself. Second mundaka, second khanda, and ninth mantra, as we showed before. Maharshi Ramana used to say, there is a doubt and there is a doubter. When you say to somebody, I have a doubt, so you have a doubt, and you are the doubter. The doubter and the doubt are not separate from each other. And they rise together, then they subside together. Ramana used to say to people who would ask a doubt, doubt the doubter. Ask who is doubting? I. Who am I? And that's a wonderful way of hinting that the one who has doubt is not you. You are the light of consciousness, you are the light of awareness that is illumining the doubt. It is also illumining the ego, which is the doubter. But somehow you think, I am the doubter. I am suffering from this doubt. If you were to ask Maharshi Ramana, I have a strange fear. He would say, leave the fear aside for a moment. You fear something, right? Who is the fearer? Behind the doubt, who is the doubter? Behind fear, who is the fearer? Swami Chinmayananji would deliberately put in some strong accent and some kind of Indian way of pronouncing words. Behind desire, there is the desirer, would say. Behind any feeling, there is the feeler. He had a chart, body, mind, and intellect. Perceiver, feeler, thinker, objects, emotions, and thoughts. So the perceiver, he would deliberately, perceiver, he would say, feeler, thinker, and in higher Vedantic insights, you will see the thinker is also a thought. The doubter also is a thought. Doubt is a thought, the doubter is another thought. In computer software, they have some software that translates from one language to another, from high-level language to machine language, as they call. And what translates or what changes the high-level language lines to machine-level language lines, that translating thing is also software. Software acts upon software to produce another software. Nothing hard there. Of course, software is generally located in some, media, disk or tape or semiconductor memory, and that is all where it is seated. But software acts upon software to produce software. Like that, thought creates the ego, and the ego has so many problems. Thought then pursues those problems, faces those problems. Thought causes tiredness to the one who has that sense of ego. It is all play of mind. Chidyante sarva sanshaya. Adi Shankara makes a strong comment. Laukikanam, when you and I remain worldly, we don't want to let go of our very materialistic and worldly approaches to things. Laukikanam, maranat, till we die. Ganga srotovat, like the incessant flow of river Ganga. Pravritta, pravrittaha visarga has got. Pravrittaha samshayaha. Till we die, we have some doubt or the other about some matter or the other, and we are suffering. Maranat, marana paryantam, Ganga srotovat pravrittaha kamshayaha, chidyante means vichedam ayanti. they get broken, they get cut asunder. Asya vichinna samshayasya, for this lady or gentleman whose doubts are cleared thanks to clear understanding of the Vedanta, nivritta avidyasya, her spiritual ignorance avidya goes. Nivritta avidyasya, nivritta avidyasya, yani vijnanotpattehe prakritani janmantare, talking about that kshiyante chasya karmani, that part. Before his realization, he might have done a lot of wrongs. He might have done wrongs in his previous lives also. Janmantarecha apravritta falani, those karmas of which the results have not yet begun. Jnana utpatti sahabhavinicha. So even as Jnana utpatti was taking place, there was this baggage with this lady or man. Doesn't matter. All of them kshiyante, kshayam gachanti. And Shankara here comes one notch below the ultimate position in this matter. He says, Natu etad janma arambakani pravritta falatvat. Prarabdha remains till your bodies. Sanchita and agami karma go. All sanchita of hundreds of lives, burnt away. All agami, what you have acquired in this life, they also go. But prarabdha, there is a bucket or there is a bundle, let me call it a bundle. There is a bundle of past karmas of previous lives, which that bundle has started this particular lifespan. And that particular bundle called prarabdha karma will end only when your body drops. Suppose one of you got enlightened at the age of 77 and you live up to the age of 90. For prarabdha karma to perish, you must wait till 90. When the body drops, prarabdha is over. This is an issue taken up at many places. However, the Shastras clarify, Shankaracharya himself says that this is what is said first in the thought development. If you go deeper, prarabdha also ends instantly when there is jnana. Once Maharshi Ramana was taking rest in the afternoon, and some people they came to see him, but seeing him a little bit relaxed, maybe reclined and eyes closed, they sat around and then, thinking that he is fast asleep and we are not disturbing him, they started discussing something. And almost all of them said, when we get the highest wisdom, Sanchita and Agami die, but Prarabdha remains. Maharshi Ramana was not asleep apparently. He heard all that and probably he coughed, cleared his throat. Hey, they said, oh, he's up. They looked at him. He smiled at them and said, there was a certain merchant in Kanchipuram. He had 3 wives. And one day when he died, 2 of the wives became widows. The third one, you see, did not. And saying that, he walked away. These people were puzzled. What? If the merchant died and all 3 ladies were his wives, all 3 have to become widows. Why did he say one of them did not? Then they said, oh, this is his way of saying that cannot be so. When the husband of the 3 ladies dies, all 3 of them become widows. Full stop. Like that, when you know you are not the body or mind, you are the pure consciousness, you are not the image you have of yourself, nor are you the image people have of you, let them go. Abide in the pure self. And Sanchita, Agami, and Prarabdha, all are gone. The last part is explained by Shankara. The wise people, rather than struggling with their attachments, You are attached to money, you are attached to pleasure, you are attached to position, you are attached to movies, you are attached to tennis, you are attached to your grandchildren. Don't struggle with them. Spend some time every day in attaching yourself to the higher. But should I not let go of my attachments to the lower? Oh dear, when you attach yourself to the higher, knowingly or unknowingly, you will find you are not so much interested in the lower as before. Ramanujacharya was traveling and somewhere, I guess, near Mysore, someplace. He came to know that there was a wonderful devotee of Mahavishnu. He was wonderful in all respects, but the whole town knew that he was very much attached to his wife. And when people asked him, "You are such a good Vaishnava, such a good spiritual seeker, but why are you?" We can see that you are very, very possessive, very, very attached to your wife. He used to say, "Show me one face in the world which is more beautiful than my wife's face." Ramanujacharya heard this and he met that merchant and softly said, "Can I show you a face which is more beautiful than your wife's face?" The merchant was very embarrassed. Who told him about my attachment to my wife? Anyway, he bowed down and said, "Yes, come tomorrow to my place at morning 7 a.m. The merchant was on the dot with Ramanujacharya 7 a.m. next morning. Ramanuja took him straight to the Ranganatha temple, Mahavishnu's temple. At that place, some famous place is mentioned. So, Srirangapatnam or maybe Srirangam, that is Trichy or Tiruchirappalli, one of those places, or Melukote. There are some prominent places of Lord Ranganatha. One of those places, Ramanuja took him and said, "Look at the Lord's face." This merchant had seen the Lord's face, that particular statue, 1,000 times before. He's a devotee. But grace of Sri Ramanujacharya, that today, this morning, he beholds the face of Ranganatha. Oh, he cannot take his eyes off. Such beauty, such serenity, such divinity, such compassion, such love, such caring. He was transfixed. And that's it. Deeply appreciating the beauty of Lord Mahavishnu, that man was transformed. He let go of his crazy attachment to his wife. He was good to his wife thereafter also. There's nothing like because he got devoted to Mahavishnu, thereafter he started scolding or he started asking her to go away. No. In true spirituality, you don't go away from anybody. In true spirituality, in essence, you are more with those people with whom you are attached, but the way you relate to them would be of a very different nature. Every one of us may do so in our own ways. There is no standard description. But when you change, you are attached to God, then your way you see these people to whom you are attached changes. The way you deal with them changes. The way you speak to them changes. And you can't put it in some narrow way. So this attach comes first. Attach to the higher and then see whether the problem of your so-called lower attachments continues at all. Tasmin sarvajne asamsarini paravare. This Atma Tattva, the true self, is called paravara. and it is asansari. It has no worldly life at all. It is ever divine, ever free. Paravara is a compound. Paramcha aparamcha. Para means Karanatman, as the cause of the entire creation. This pure Satchit Ananda Atma is Para. And whatever has come out from that, is it different from itself? No. What has appeared also is the pure self only. The pure self is the source, the pure self is the effect. Aparam karyatmana. In the form of karya, effect, it is lower. In the form of the cause, karana, it is higher. It is one only, one which seems to be divided into high and low, cause and effect. Tasmin paravare sakshad ahamasmiti drishte. The Advaita master doesn't let go of any chance to emphasize. When you deeply understand the Supreme Atma, Paramatma, you know that there is only Paramatma. I too am that Paramatma only, because other than the Paramatma, there doesn't exist anything. Sansara Karana Uchchedat. Thus, when the basic reason, basic cause, Karana, Uchcheda, removal, when the fundamental error is removed, Muchyate Ityartaha. One is liberated. Tasmin Drishte Paravare. That is how a simple looking mantra has great significance. It summarizes a whole lot of spiritual wisdom in that single four liner. Tasmin Drishte Paravare. Therefore, friends, more important than anything else is wherever we get a chance, we must attach to the higher. Here I have put a comma. Attached to the higher, comma, detached from the lower. Really speaking, attached to the higher, period. Full stop. What about detached from the lower? That will happen. That will automatically happen. Attached to the higher. Tasya darshanam kuru. Tasmin drishte. Chidyante sarva samshayaha. Kshiyante karmani. Vidyate hridaya granti. Om Namah Paramarashibhyo. Namah Paramarashibhyah.